everyone, happy Labor Day. Just coming to give you another class. This one is to use your Gypsy and create the pumpkin that will go on top of the pumpkin box that we just did yesterday. Alright, so I'm going to get to it. And if you're wondering about my t-shirt, I went to Chicago a few years ago, met up with a bunch of girls from the pantry, and I made t-shirts for them all. And so when we were walking around, people would ask us, what is in your pantry, paper pantry? And that way we tried to get some more members that way. I figured they'd ask what it meant. So I thought it was fun, and we all got to wear our pink t-shirts and walk around in the convention, so it was fun. Anyways, let's get to it. This is where it gets a little tricky. Now, because I have the Gypsy, not everybody has a Gypsy, but for those of you who do have a Gypsy, that's kind of what this class is for. It's not for people who don't have it, although I'm sorry if I'm making you want to get one because they're hard to find now. But what I did was, when I did this on my 12 by 24 sheet, I punched in the size that I ended up doing, which is 11 3/4. That's the box. Doesn't fit on a 12, but what I did was I can measure the size of the pumpkin and find out what size pumpkin I need for the front of this. So unfortunately, if you don't have a Gypsy, you would probably have to trial and error, make it a tiny bit bigger just so that it overlaps the edges. That's all I can suggest. But some of the projects that you'll do have got a layer that you can put on the front. Now this one just doesn't seem to go together because one is really large and you cannot do same dial size. It doesn't work on this project because I'm just putting it together. But this shape is exactly the same as the box front, so I'm going to use it. So I'm going to put a sheet of green paper on the top portion of my mat, and I'm going to put an orange piece on the bottom of my mat, and I'm going to cut that out, and then I'll come back and we'll piece it together. So I did do it on multi-cut. I did it twice, 2 cuts, because this orange paper is quite thick and I wanted to make sure it went through. So fingers crossed. Yay. It's like a plasticized glitter paper. I've had troubles with it before, so I just automatically put it on double cut. Now this is the actual cut that I'm doing. It's a pumpkin, it's the top. Now there is a pumpkin face, and I'm not really that into the pumpkin face. I just want to keep it pretty simple. So let's put together this little piece. A lot of times what I will do is shade things, like I'll color in the leaves, and I'll probably color this, but I'll leave this part in the bright green, and I might just do that right now just because I can before I get it onto. And I used a pattern paper hoping that it would show up. I mean, it does have texture to it. It's not completely smooth, which is kind of what I was aiming for. I mean, it's so easy for me to just grab a plain piece of green cardstock because I do have my fair amount of it, but I didn't this time. I grabbed something that was textured. How about if I'll do a brown in the middle. You just Oops, I knew we'd get all tangled because this is a long, skinny, straggly bit. Alright, so it's time for some glue. Now one of my favorite glues is this one. You guys all know my Zig glue is one of my favorites because it's like writing with a pen. It's easy, especially on all these long skinny bits. But it does dry out pretty quick, so you've got to be fast when you're putting it on. Can't dawdle. And I'm doing it way far away from where I am. So, patience. Let's see how good I am at getting it in the right spot. Alright. First I'm going to get the main part done. The rest should fall into place. Trickier to hide sparkle paper underneath, isn't it? So sometimes it's just as easy to cut off the pieces in behind and not stick it to anything. If your cardstock is strong enough, depending on what you're putting it on, you can just snip off the back and not worry about the orange part. Okay, so this is going to have to be the front for today. Oh, why would that side be different than this side? Oh, that is the right side. Alright, so there's your... Now you could do both sides of this parcel, and it would be really cute, but I won't do the other side at the moment. What I'll do is I'll show you something so that if you decide to do it, one second, here, bring you back down here. Okay, so if you wanted to do the other side as well, there's a button just here. Go into Advanced. Oops, come on. And see this button here? This will flip it horizontally. So what you'll do, if you wanted to do the other side, is you'll flip it, and now your pumpkin will go. Did it do it? I can't even see. Huh. Oh, you have to highlight them, sorry. Highlight it first, then flip it. There. So now it's flipped to the other side. So if you're doing the back side, then your pumpkin will be the right way around. It's just the opposite side of the paper. If you want to turn your paper, flip your paper upside down and do it that way, you can do it that way if you don't want to flip your image. But it's just as quick and easy to do that. So that's how to use the flip button. And then we move on to something new. So I'm glad you got to see how to put the pumpkin on the top. I will come back with some more classes as soon as I can. Have a great day. Bye.